Are we ready? Oh, perfect. Hello, everyone. Hey. Welcome to In Conversation with the Sisterhood. Before we get started, just a few announcements. If there is a fire alarm, it's real. There's no scheduled fire alarm, so please leave. And to leave, it's just up through these doors and follow the fire sign right around. The toilets are back through the doors you came and round to your right. Well, when you're passing, there's a little station to gather some data. So if you want to have a look, have a read, and talk to the phone, please do. But let's get started. Yeah? Ready?
Yeah, ready.
I'm going to introduce myself first then. So hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Shelby, CEO and founder of Hey Sis. And I am a multifaceted creative too. I'm going to go this way and then we'll bring it round. Yeah?
Yeah, that's good. So, I really struggle to describe myself, but I have a word. So, I would say I'm an alchemist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of mix social innovation with creativity and with like love and care. So, pretty much everything I do is based in that. So, I am the founder and managing director of Enzyme. I'm also becoming business partner in Hey Sis. We're just sorting that out. Yeah, and I'm a creative, I'm an artist. That's me, I'm chic.
Perfect.
Mine's not as cool, so sorry. I'm Tanisha, hi everyone. I work at King's College London and I am a senior lecturer on racism and health. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Hello everyone, I'm Jelke Boston. I'm at King's College London as well. I'm a professor of gender and development, and that means that I look at the world from a feminist perspective, that I'm interested in gender inequality and injustice, mainly with a perspective on the global south and, in my case, Latin America. I'm also, together with some other fabulous feminist colleagues, researchers from King's, running a project which we call Feminism, with a V, because it refers to visual and embodied methodologies, which is a complicated way of saying creative or arts-based methods. And part of that project, we're working with different communities in London to explore both gender violence and resistance. And that's partly how we arrived here together with Shelby and with Hey Sis, because Hey Sis is part of that project and they're showing us what resistance might mean through sisterhood. So thank you very much for having me and for being here with us.
Thank you for helping out. Thank you. And last but not least, our fabulous two last ladies.
Hi, my name is Ame. I'm also known as Big Lee Scott. I'm a visual artist. I do everything from creative directing, styling, painting, and sculpting. And I'm also a lead ambassador of Hey Sis.
Hey everyone, I'm an ambassador for Hey Sis.
What's your name?
Yes,
It's okay, girl. It's okay, girl. Me too, me too.
I'm Jaya. Hi everyone. I'm an ambassador for Hey Sis and also a multidisciplinary artist. I do everything from photography to design and branding.
Jay was in charge of a lot of the photography for today's event as well, so yeah. Let's get into it. Jelke, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So we're all gonna just have a chat here with each other about sisterhood and why we're here and how we sort of relate to each other in the ideas that we all have. So I would like to start with a question to you all. Who considers themselves a feminist? Hands up. Ooh, the majority. Good, I like that. I like that. Here? Yeah? Excellent, good. So I grew up in a time in the 1980s, in a place in the Netherlands with privilege, white middle class, in which I was led to believe that feminism wasn't necessary anymore because as a woman in this world, anybody could be or do whatever they wanted. You know? So feminism was just not really relevant to me. But then I went for my studies and to do research to Latin America, and one of the first things I learned there is that actually not all women are the same, not all women experience the same, that positions matter, context matter in how we experience the world, and that even with all the privilege that I have, that didn't make me immune for the patriarchy. Yeah. So I turned to feminism, and I started reading up on it, and I started working with women's organizations in Latin America, and learned very much about that. And one of the things that I learned from those women's organizations is that actually a sisterhood, i.e. a basis of solidarity among women, it's not obvious, and it doesn't necessarily grow organically across different contexts and groups. Because very quickly, also in Latin America, wherever you look, there are fault lines that are related to socioeconomic position, to ethnicity, to class, to sexuality, to all kinds of things why people don't have and feel that solidarity. There are power relations that are already existent, also among women, no? So that made me think about sort of where do we encounter each other and how can we find a sense of solidarity across those differences. And I guess the thing of sisterhood, which I find so interesting, is that it suggests sort of an equality, no? Because it's about sisters, it's about kinship. No? So you have a similar background, a similar identity where you relate to each other. And that is exactly what was very often critiqued when people talked about the global sisterhood. So there was this idea of global sisterhood that was very much in the 1980s and 90s, pronounced particularly by northern, Western, white women as applying to everyone in the world. And then everybody in the world said, well, nope, because we're not like you and you're not like me and we're all different, no? So there was a lot of critique of that idea that a sisterhood is always, that it's horizontal. And on reflection, and I think we have reflected over the last 6 months a lot about sisterhood and about positionality and so where we stand in the world and what is our own context. I think we've learned, or at least I've learned, that you can also have multiple sisterhoods, i.e. you can build alliances even if you're not all the same and you don't have the same worldview or the same experiences of inequality or injustice. You can build alliances, and alliance building is really powerful across different sisterhoods. So we make it plural, no? Because alliances across different sisterhoods means that you can listen to each other, that you can build solidarity, that you can build respect, that you can learn from each other, that you can share resources, also really important, no? And that you can have each other's back when politically, when that is necessary, or personally, when that is necessary. And this is what I found really exciting of working with Hey Sis, and this is what I hope that where we the feministas from King's College London, as researchers, meet Hey Sis as peer researchers now, as a collective organization, as an activist organization perhaps, where we can learn from each other and support each other and have each other's back across those different sisterhoods. For sure. So I'm really happy that we're here and that we're learning from each other. So let's continue doing so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know what's crazy? I didn't realize that sisterhood was like that big. I just think between me and you.
And you literally asked me this morning, like, do you think sisterhood needs to be communal? I was like, no, I think it can exist between two of us, but literally it can exist globally too. You spoke about like the last 6 months, and I just kind of want to talk about like the last 6 months, that what we've been up to. So Hey Sis actually won residency here, the Just Future, thanks, won to be the Just Future residents here at King's College London, Science Gallery London. And the past 6 months, we were given a chance to develop our own idea that relates to joy. And when we first started, it was titled Journey to Joy. Like, we thought was exploring joy. What does that mean? Where does it show up? And throughout that time when we were learning and researching, testing and trialing, sisterhood kept on coming up. Naturally, we're Hey Sis. And then we started to explore a little bit deeper, what does sisterhood mean in connection to joy and joy in connection of sisterhood. And through that process, we landed on the Science of Sisterhood, which is what we're launching today, which is a research-led project rooted in community, a creative project exploring how sisterhood can be studied, strengthened, and used as a tool of connection, survival, and joy. And it all emerges from lived experiences with science, play, art, all investigating emotion, cultural, and social dynamics of sisterhood. I think some ladies in the room came to our workshops, which these girlies helped lead as well. And I lost my train of thought just now, you know. I'm going to be so real. I've lost my train of thought. But today, that's it. Today, we're inviting you to share your experiences from using the hashtag Science for Sisterhood. So on socials, please hashtag Science for Sisterhood. But as well as contributing to our living archive upstairs. So when you go upstairs, there's so many little different things you can get involved with, from the zine making with Fiona, who's absolutely brilliant, to the creative corner where you'll see Chantal, one of our sisters. Please do engage with them, be honest, sign up to our sisterhood ourselves. There's QR codes all around the room. I think what I really want to invite you to is get involved. Like, no matter what, just get involved. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, to say the least. I've been running Hey Sis for 5.5 years now, 6 years in December. Thanks, sis. Which actually started at 18. I started it in a result of going to loads of little youth clubs when I was younger, being an ambassador for loads of different community spaces, which always centered men, which is needed, but women were always an afterthought. We were always an extra at the end, and I really wanted to create somewhere where it was like us. It was like, we're focused, we are it. And it actually started in NCS. I did NCS, and I wanted to do an event with like Paige Cakey in Burgess Park. It never happened. It never happened, but at 18, we were able to launch Hey Sis, and it started off as like an Instagram page for like quotes, you know, like, connecting quotes. And then it moved much on quicker in lockdown. We launched in December, planned to do like a big launch party in March. Then, you know, the pandemic hit, which was crazy. Yeah, like we had to adapt so quickly. And through that time, we were able to grow our sisterhood from like 20 to like 200. We were able to raise £300 to help over 80 women and girls with hygiene products. Some girlies are actually in the room today with some hygiene products. We were able to do online games nights, online movie nights, which was absolutely amazing. From there, we shifted back to the new world, I would say, where we did loads of like, what kind of events have we done? We've done sip and paints.
Yeah, it's been very like creative.
Yeah, all creative-led projects.
Yeah, collaging, upcycling.
Yeah.
What else?
One of the girlies today mentioned karaoke. I completely forgot we did a karaoke event. We had a whole Usher segment. That was so good. Which, about a year and a half ago, is when I actually met Sheik. Do you want to speak a bit on that?
Yeah, so I guess we were talking about sisterhood, right? So how that started. So I met Shelby, and you were like texting me to get into a building that I used to run the floor. And then I just thought, there's something about her. I don't know what it is, but there's something.
No,
you felt that too, though.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was like, I like her. Like, I don't know her, but there's something there. Like, I want to know you.
And then I also, before that, had gone through like a kind of sticky situation with other women that I thought I was in a sisterhood with. So I was a bit burned, but I was also had a lot of discernment around, okay, like, I still want sisterhood. I just need to be more careful about where I look. And with Shelby, I was like, there's something there. And then I think I contacted you because I knew that you were creative. And I was like, I want to do like an art project. Would you help me do it? And then we started turning up at these like sessions that we had.
Yeah.
And then bit by bit, we started building the sisterhood. And I remember when we first started talking about what is this, it was never a friendship to begin with. And I said that to you, I was like, we started off like
straight in our sisters.
Into a sisterhood. That's what the way it was for me anyway.
No, same. I think, I remember you contacted me because I messaged my sister straight away. I was like, oh my God, someone wants me to be like the creative director of an art show. Like, can you believe it? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure it out. And then from there, when we started having meetings, it was originally for your art show.
Yeah.
And then it kind of developed more into a creative project.
We're still going to do that though.
Yeah, we can't teach
and
too much.
It was called Beloved. That was the thing. It was about love, like self-love. And then in that process, it became like, because I had that discernment, I was like, okay, let me test it first. Like, or let's talk about it. And there was things that we had to talk about when it came to self-love. If I didn't talk about it, we weren't really having the journey. And I remember I disclosed something to you and I was like, oh my gosh, was that the wrong thing to do? And then she was like, really? And it happened to me. And then we just started building. And then I started incubating Hey Sis. Because my background was business coaching. So we started building that. And then we got close and then we had the same like goals, vision. And that's why I think it's interesting when Yoko was talking about like the political side of it and how it can build lives. I think that's what we're like doing now. We're like resisting by building our own wealth, building our own business, like going against like what we thought was we should be doing. I never thought I would be doing art, that I could make money from that or like even do it. So
when we spoke previously, and I think you touched on it a little bit here, we spoke about like the work before we actually met and like that work that we had to do internally and like personally to actually accept a sisterhood. I think my journey with sisterhood, I grew up with 4 older sisters, all saying that to run. Minus one. Yeah, all the rest of them. And we span from like 4 different generations from the 70s, 80s, 90s and 2000. So like the oldest sister is 48 and then I'm 24. So like I have such a big age gap with sisters.
Oh, and that was also because I've got a sister who's the same age as you. And the same gap.
And you have the sister.
Yeah, so
I have the same age as you. And I think having those sisters have really helped me to, one, understand the journey of a woman and what that looks like and how other ladies play into that. And I think that's how I was so accepting. And I've had my own traumas with sisterhood as well. I went to all-girls school, which was great until it wasn't. I was... Oh, we are the same! We are the same! No experience is original. I love that. Oh, I see you, I feel you. Oh, well.
How many people went to all-girls school? Oh my God! Are we trauma bonding?
Oh my God! Sisters! We see you, I feel you.
Nice.
Welcome to Hey Sis. That is insane.
Okay. I did not
I
realize that.
actually want to ask the audience a question, just with a raise of hands. Do you feel like going to an all-girls school has impacted your idea of sisterhood? Just yes, if you agree. Okay.
In a good way or a bad way? Shout.
Yeah,
if it's
shout.
good, put your hand up. Oh, bad. Okay.
Both?
Oh,
Good. Oh, I love that for you. You're the anomaly. I love that for you. They're both? Yeah, I hear it. What about you? You didn't go to girls' school. We went same school, but different years.
I had like a movie version of an all-girls school, clearly, because I was like, oh, that sounds so good. Like,
Mine was at St. Trinian's. I'm not going to lie. That was St. Trinian's down. I actually have some girls that I went to school with here in the audience as well. That was St. Trinian's. And we actually born... some of the girlies, sorry, I'm pointing you guys out. The girlies up there, we actually have a sisterhood. And I think our sisterhood actually formed after school. Like, one of the girls went primary school and secondary school together. And then I think me and you went secondary school. And then I met the two of you after. But I think that sisterhood formed when we were older. But we all had the lived experience of the same school. But yeah. I kind of want to talk about, like, we spoke a bit about, like, our sisters and, like, the fact you have a younger sister. I have so many older sisters. Do you kind of want to speak a little bit around that intergenerational sisterhood and how that impacts your life personally? And I want to open it to you guys as well, like, if it does impact your life.
I think, like, I was trying to think what makes, like, a sisterhood work. And I think the first thing was, I have notes. I think my notes are in there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Intuition. So that first time I met Shelby and I had that like intuition to like, oh, there's something special about her. I then had to be like an investigator and be like, because I'd been like burned before, I was like, let me ask the questions, let's make that space. And that's where like safety came into it. And I think that art project made it safe. because we were both talking. And then the next part was being
Sorry to
authentic.
cut you off. I think that speaks so well to the them and like the arts-based methods that using creativity to connect so freely is so. I think it's so powerful.
Yeah, even like when I've come to like HASIS events, before I was like involved, and we were
Hey,
talking
you
about
spoke on a panel.
Yeah,
You actually spoke on a panel.
yeah,
in
we were talking about stuff, and I was like, oh, there's something about the art that makes us all like open up.
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing, I guess, in a space of sisterhood, you don't have to come and, I've got to try and be authentic. You know, a lot of people say that. Be your authentic self. No, it's not safe. Like,
I don't know you.
It's not safe. So I always know, see when someone's saying to me, be authentic, I'm watching you. Like, you're scary. So when I was with Shelby, I didn't have to be authentic. I just was.
And I didn't have to ask.
And I didn't feel like, like sometimes, you should feel excited. I actually felt so calm. And then at the end of that, we had like a connection that I could tell, this is equal.
Yeah.
So in saying that, the thing that I had to struggle with as an intergenerational sisterhood, I mean, I have a sister who's the same age as you, I already had experience, was that I had to let go of me being a millennial, and I know everything, and I've been through it, she's young. I had to let go of this whole age thing, because I've learned so much from Shelby, from like, about men, about body image, about confidence, about my art, like, ideas. I never thought I could do any art stuff. And she was like, why don't you just do it. And my
She
sister
was
is
so
the exact
mysterious.
same.
She did not take no pictures. She did not want to post stuff. I'm like, so how are people going to find you? How are we going to discover you?
So I think you need to let go of this thing of like, I'm a millennial, I'm an older person, they're young, they don't know what they're talking about. Younger generation know so much, they give no Fs about anything. Like, they will literally go and do it, and I love that. Like, I've learned so much from you, like, from all of you. Yeah. Even our sessions, when I come in, the stuff they're talking about, I was like, I wish I had this. I wish I had like big sisters, little sisters to like help me grow when I was like younger. So that's what I'm saying.
Talking about sisters, should we move on to you, girlies? I think my first question for you is, when did you turn from friends to sisters? Oh, did you hear that? Damn.
Yeah, I would say it was pretty much almost instant. Like, as soon as we started to like be around each other outside of school, and in that kind of like third space where you're like, it's not school, it's not work, it's not home. It was almost instant. Like, she looked out for me, and it didn't seem like it was like transactional. It felt very natural. So yeah, almost instant.
What about you?
Funny enough, at a HASIS event, like, I was just thinking, I was like, wow, I actually would like to invest like a lot of time and effort and resources into her, because I thought she was so cool, because we went to the same... Okay, stop, guys, please. It's not that thing now, come on. But what's the code, like, because we went to the same college and stuff, and like we were both like in art college and stuff, but like we never spoke until like we got introduced by like a mutual friend, and I was like, oh my gosh, finally I can actually like go up to her and be like, hi, I think you're so cool, because obviously like it's in South London, and you know how some girls are, like, no shade, but I was scared that she was gonna be like, ew, don't talk to me, but I was like, find the words, but yeah.
I love that. And you mentioned about like investing. How do you say you guys invest in your sisterhood? Like, how do you show up for each other?
If you insist. I feel like the way on how we show up for each other, it's not always like a massive thing. I feel like when people think about showing up for each other, it's always like, I'm rescuing somebody, there's a damsel in distress, blah, blah, blah. It needs to be some big grand gesture. Like, no, it could literally be something as like, hi, how are you? Like, how are you feeling today? Even like thinking like, oh, let me send her this meme because I thought about her, or like, oh, like I came across this and I instantly thought about you. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so JR. Like, anytime I see like an opportunity or like a meme or like a photo, like anything, I'll just send it to her, because I'm just like, hi, I'm thinking about you. Like, I hope you're good. Because I feel like if you can't show up for each other in like the smallest moments, how are you going to make time for like the bigger things, you know?
Yeah, it's like you said, it really is in like the smaller moments that we show up for each other the most, I'd say. Literally through memes, that's how we keep the day-to-day talk going on. Because the pressure. Pressure, guys.
Facts.
We don't like to put too much pressure on. Oh, let's go to this place. Let's have dinner here, because sometimes, it doesn't come out of the group chat. But it's like, it's in the small moments where, I saw this opportunity and it screams your name, so I'm going to send it to you. And it's literally just in those moments,
I love that. I think behind us we have a bit of a working definition that through the research we've kind of figured out the difference between friendship and sisterhood. And one of them is around like sisterhood is like morals and values and that investment into each other's futures. And like as Yelka mentioned earlier about it being political, and I think you girls do that really, really well without realizing you're doing it as well. I think you guys show up for each other and for the wider sisterhood so much, and that investment of each other's creativity, the protection over each other's creativity as well, I think that screams volumes. That being said, it's okay. Sheik mentioned about authentic, and I think we've spoken so much around what authenticity is, what does it look like. I think we've been speaking about it really and truly for like the past year and a half. How do you think being authentic has impacted your friendship or your sisterhood?
It's definitely been a huge part, because the comfortability was there, which meant the authenticity was there. And through that, we had like accountability, which is that it's like not just in the moments where I'm like, I don't like what you did. We can pull each other in. We can pull each other up in those moments, but also in the moments where it's like, you did that. Like, let me big you up for that. You did that. So it's like, I think that's where authenticity has been most prominent.
I feel like to be authentic is to be comfortable with being vulnerable with yourself and others. Because I feel like if you don't have that level of vulnerability, then it's just like, it's not going to progress in the way that you want it to. Authenticity should be something that's like a flow state. It shouldn't just be something that's rigid, but it should be consistent.
Do you think it is consistent between you two?
Of course it is. Why else do you think we're here? Like, come on.
Fact. And I remember when we were speaking, it wasn't yesterday, I was going to lie and say yesterday, on Monday, you mentioned about I can't remember the bar, but it was a bar. It was like something about the way, you know.
Like focus on how it feels and not how it looks to other people, because it's really important that you are like keeping the consistency between you. It's not really about who's on the outside, it's about the relationship that you have.
So invest in how it feels rather than how it looks. Like, it doesn't need to look like brunch or everyday meeting up. It's how it feels in those moments. Sorry, I got my notes together. Because if not, I'm going to go so off track. How do you feel like sisterhood, being a part of Hey Sis, I feel like you've been a part 2-3 years now?
Yeah.
Give or take. Wait.
I think almost 2.
It feels longer than that.
I feel like it's for 3.
Yeah.
That's just
Somewhere 2-3
It's been a long
years.
time,
Yeah.
guys.
How do you feel like being a part of that sisterhood, as in being a part of the team of ambassadors, but also the wider network of Hey Sis as itself, has impacted you, if at all?
Oh, of course it's impacted us, girl. Cool. But it's been a thing where it's like, because we were able to see each other on a consistent basis, like it was like every week, it's like we knew that Tuesday's Hey Sis, and when it wasn't Tuesday, it was Thursday, whatever. And that kind of seeing each other in that third space rather than just school or any other place made it feel that it wasn't circumstantial. So it was able to foster the relationship through that. And then also how like we showed up for the other women who were there and how they showed up for us. We could put into each other, put into them, and
Amazing. What about you, Meg?
I feel like being a part of Hey Sis has definitely impacted the way how I view myself, like in terms of I can still be feminine and not be like, oh, like being feminine is whack, like I shouldn't be feminine. I mean, like, I'm a girl, do you know what I mean? Like, why would I not want to be feminine? But it made me feel like I could still be strong and confident whilst being feminine, whilst like I don't need to always be aggressive and I don't need to always be hostile. You know, like femininity is in, you know, it's always been in. It's also made me like think about certain stereotypes about women, about how it's always like competition, or like they can't work together, they're always like catty and things like that. But I've never really experienced that like to the level of what is like the stereotype. And I'm really grateful for that, because I was there thinking like, this is just false propaganda, like this is just a lie. Like not all women are like that. Like women want to be around women. Women want to build with each other. Women want to grow, flourish, and things of that nature. And it's made me also realize as well that none of the sisterhoods that I've built or fostered has been around like grief or been around trauma bonding or like depression and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, like me and Jay are like, we can relate on certain things, like certain race things or certain gender things, but it's never been like, oh, like,
It's centered in
yeah, like we're both oppressed, sisterhoods unite, you know, like it's never, oh, like Massa brought us down, let's do this. Like, no, it's like, like it's never been about that, you know, like it's always been about joy, it's always been about happiness, it's always been about love. And I feel like that's what sisterhood is, you know? But yeah.
Yeah, definitely in the professional sense, where it's like we're all investing in each other's growth, and it's like we want to see each other get to that point, and we don't have to do it alone. We have each other to do it. So, yeah.
That's one of the lines from the audio. To remind you, you're not alone. If you have a chance, please go check out the girls' toilets. Like, we had a really cool audio installation, so please go check it out. Tanisha, I think I'm going to come to you now, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. What's joy? What is joy?
What is joy? I have a slide. Oh, it's here. Great. So I do a lot of work on joy, just as like a background, and specifically on Black joy and how that can make people feel good and like promote health and well-being. So there are different ways to think about joy, and specifically differentiating between joy and happiness. So I'm going to save my context. Let me read this. So if you're thinking about joy as like a noun, I've got a little quote saying it's the emotion. Oh no.
This one?
No, we're on.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. That one. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
So in terms of the noun, it's the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, the expression or exhibition of such emotion, the state of happiness or felicity, a source or cause of delight. So that's like the noun. And then the verb would be to experience great pleasure or delight. So, I mean, they kind of relate to each other, obviously. Can you go to the next slide? So people often say joy and they say happiness, and they kind of say them like synonymously, like they use one instead of the other. But happiness, I kind of think of as more of a temporal thing. Like joy is something that should come from within. It's like an inner feeling that no one can take from you, right? Like once you have that state of joy, it doesn't depend on external things. Like it's not about your job, it's not about your family. Those things might be related, but it's a feeling that you have that no one can take. Whereas happiness is more kind of temporal. It's more the feeling that you get when you get that promotion, or when your friend like has a baby and you see the baby for the first time. That might feel joyful, but the joy is more kind of taking away that feeling that you have and sitting with it and having it kind of like stew, you know? Yeah.
How does joy relate to sisterhood, if at all?
Oh, it does. I mean, I want to know what you guys think about that, actually.
How do you think joy relates to sisterhoods? So, like, now hearing the difference between happiness and joy, do you think it relates?
Yeah, definitely. It's like I feel like it's like a full circle moment, where it's like you find your sisters and you find your space where you're comfortable, and it becomes this natural thing where it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to see my sister today, or you know, they're celebrating you get to celebrate them. So I feel like it's a big part. Yeah.
Same. I feel like when I think of sisterhood, the word that comes up is like solidarity. I think having that, knowing it, that's there, also brings me joy, because it's the constant, kind of like how joy is like once you reach that state, it's a flow, it's a constant. I think for me, that's how sisterhood feels as well. It's the flow, like as you said, like with authenticity, it's fluid, it goes, it flows.
I have something to add. I also think that the more you feel the happiness moments from sisterhood, the joy comes up. Like it becomes more normal. So even with you now, like I feel like I expect better. I expect good things. I feel that even every time we've met a milestone, met a goal, it just grows and grows and grows, and joy becomes more normal to me. So it's not just little happiness moments. It's like, oh, I feel joyful, like, often. It's like a part of life. Even when we talk to each other, I'm like, oh, shall we, bootle?
You can know on. It's true. It's so true. I feel that. Do you feel that, babe? Oh, sorry.
Do you think that anyone can take that joy?
No. I think it's challenged. I think it can be challenged, but I don't think anyone can take it.
When is it challenged? I feel like I'm interviewing.
I know. Well,
When is it challenged?
when is it challenged? I think it's challenged on a grand scheme systematically. But I also think it can be challenged daily. I think race plays a part in it as well. Being black and brown women, that can get challenged often. And that's from anywhere between day-to-day life experiences to institutions. And also online. I think online is a massive part. In our research, I think we had a whole session that was talking to like online different shows and different like quote unquote beef between like women. I think that is challenged a lot as well.
And then it's a part of ego as well. Because you know, it's like, oh, you've got to do everything on your own. It's got to be you. You've got to be the best at everything. Sisterhood allows you to rely on other people. And sometimes you need to put that ego out the way. So sometimes it's within. Like a few times you've said stuff to me, I'm like, I'm not listening to her.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. And then I'm actually, she's right. Like, I think I know best, but actually she's just got a different way of doing it.
You know what's so funny? I think for me,
I annoy you too, don't I?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, but I think for me, it's been quite the opposite because I grew up with so many older sisters. Sometimes, like, because you're older, okay, cool, whatever. But then, growing up with older sisters, they know I will challenge everything. Like, I will be like, actually, I think even on Mother's Day, like, we had a little conversation at dinner, and everyone was like, what, Shelby? I'm like, I'm going to challenge this. Like, I'm going to actually sit and think. So I think having that also allows that too.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to add anything? Yeah.
I'd love to draw a couple of things together.
Yeah, please do.
I like doing that. I love sort of getting everything to fit again in what we're talking about. I love the conversation about between Yaya and Ame about how sisterhood starts with friendship, with small things, and it sits in those small moments of joy, but also very much the small moments of caring for each other. And I think that one of the things that Hey Sis has done, and what we as FEM try to do as well, is to create, through the arts-based methods, through the creativity, creating those spaces where that can be explored, all very slowly, without too much pressure, without obligations, authentic, if you want, in a way that allows you to explore that. And I mentioned earlier the politics of this. I do think that it's political, precisely because of everything that you're saying, because joy can be actually a challenge to a range of negativities that are going on in societies and in everyday life, And the Just Futures residency here at the Science Gallery that you won last year is precisely, the title says it already, it's Just Futures. That's a very political title,
Yeah.
And so even if you start small, what you're building has a very much a political potential, because creating solidarity and care is very powerful, and creating knowledge, which is what you're doing via the research to sisterhood and joy. Knowledge is power, as we all know. So using that knowledge to your advantage is just really very powerful. So I really appreciate that, and I hope that you hold on to the little bit of politics.
Definitely. I actually wanted to mention, like, when I think it was a few weeks ago, but it has come up so much times around writers like Bell Hooks, Toni Morrison, Audre Lorde. For me, those are like my big three.
Yeah.
My Montgomery plus me. I'm joking. But yeah, we've spoken a lot around like Bell Hooks, Toni Morrison, Audre Lorde, that all write around sisterhood being political. Could you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, absolutely. The wonderful thing of those three writers is that they were academics, they were writers, they were storytellers, and they were activists, no? But all of that grounded in a sense of togetherness, of caring for each other, and that they defined as sisterhood, no? And that very much Bell Hooks has this from margin to the center theory from below, which he meant that you can build theory or knowledge by simply sharing each other's experience, talking about it, finding the patterns, finding where we all meet each other, and that creates knowledge, and that is very powerful and hence political. And I think that is what all three of them did in a Toni Morrison through storytelling, Audre Lorde through storytelling and poetry, Bell Hooks through theorizing, really, no? Yeah. But all very powerful and very close to personal experience and the experience of their sisters. And I feel that you're doing something very similar. And I'd like to ask you, do you feel that there is something that you're doing that is political? Do you feel the politics of that?
For a long time, no. I think as of recent, when we've actually learned a lot from you, that's when I started to really adjust and acknowledge what we are actually doing. Because me and Shiko say all the time, like, sometimes we don't even know what, like, even today, we have not actually sat down and thought, wow, this is what we're doing. Even this morning, I said to my big sister, I was like, I actually don't know what this event is about anymore. Like, it's so big, but I'm not quite sure. But I think it is so political, and I think it shows up in our life day to day that we don't always sit down and actually acknowledge it. Yeah. What about you? What about you girls? Do you think we see it in Hazel?
Yeah, I agree with you in the sense that it probably took a while, like, for us to be in different spaces. And I think that's crazy because we're always thinking about, well, how can we create sisterhood in different spaces, but we don't actually sit there, like, thinking and, like, deep in the fact, like, what is our sisterhood like in these different spaces? So, yeah.
I think it's just an off thing that comes naturally. But I think through learning different research techniques and looking through things through a research lens before we were looking through it as like sisters or like facilitators and creative lens, I think now we've shifted into the research lens. I think we've learned so much more how political it is and their impact, and like sisterhood literally transforms, and I think we've learned that through this process through the last 6 months.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I got so for my other business, I done some like impact forms, and you and our friend Eleanor actually filled it out. And I think when I read that, and I was like, okay, so me doing business coaching, sharing my resources and knowledge to you guys, now you're building these businesses, which is making money, which means that you're empowered to do other stuff, and you're sharing that with like Jaya, May, all these different young girls and women. It is political because now we're all like coming up, doing these different things. But I didn't see it like as political. I was like, but this is actually.
And it's so funny because you actually span across all businesses, like in some type of way as well. I think it is building our own ecosystem, especially everyone being from like global majority women. Systems and resources, like you mentioned earlier, aren't always shared, so we share them between ourselves, and I think that's really
and the opportunities that we've got now.
Yeah, we've got massive opportunities. Yeah. Even this opportunity came from you, really and truly. It did. It did.
Network though, because that opportunity came from like my good friend Jasmine, who I met last year, who was like told Bella, who was the original person who told about the residency, and I was like, oh, actually, Hey Sis would be perfect. And it's like that network.
Yeah, and it's sharing.
Yeah, and I think it's that openness to like share the resources. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that you have to question in building a sisterhood. You can't like, you've got to build in yourself to be able to do that. Yeah. But you have to find the safe place to do it, because I've done it in the not safe place. And and breaking up with friends is, I think, much harder than like romantic breakups.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh gosh. 100%.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Everyone felt that.
Noted. We do a workshop on that.
No. Well, no, honestly. But I feel like as you said, it on the opposite side of the friendship breakup, it's that friendship investment, and for me it relates back to joy. And Tanisha, I wanted you to speak a little bit on the prolonged life. Does that make sense? Prolonged life? Yeah, long-term outcomes of joy and sisterhood and how that might impact somebody's life?
Yeah. So I do have a slide on this somewhere, but it's really difficult sometimes to do this kind of work because there are so many things that feel very obvious that you then need to prove to people that are like, how can you prove that, right? So like when it comes to joy, we know that joy feels good, right? And we know that it boosts our mental health, and we know that that has good effects on our physical health. We might want to go outside for a walk that day. We might want to like cook something nice. We might want to spend time with friends. We know that loneliness is a killer, right? Like we know this stuff, but I constantly have to find myself proving it, like empirically. But there are studies that show that it can actually prolong your life. Like joy can prolong your life. So again, I can't read this very well. But when it comes to mental health, I don't really like to separate mental and physical health because they are
Interconnected.
exactly. But I'm going to do it for a second. So when it comes to mental health, we know that joy and sisterhood can result in lower levels of stress, anxiety, depression, things like that through communal healing, right? We know that it can lead to an increase in self-esteem. So encouragement that we get through sisterhood can be empowering. That can have lots of mental health benefits. Joyful sisterhood can be a protective factor during difficult life transitions. So if someone's experiencing death, divorce, illness, etc., these things can really be life-saving, right? And when it comes to physical health, you have strong social ties, right? So particularly joyful, non-stressful ties are really good for your physical health as well. It can lower cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and that can promote and improve heart health and decrease risks of stress-related illness, so things like hypertension, certain types of cancers even. It can promote healthier habits, sisterhoods. So if you're thinking about spending time with your sisters in joyful, uplifting spaces, that can be really good. We can often encourage each other towards things like healthier eating, movement, regular medical checkups. So, for example, preventative health screenings, that's one. We can push each other to have better sleep, improve self-care, that kind of thing. Really nourishing bonds can have nourishing effects on your physical health, right? So it's not just, there is science behind it. It's not just that it feels good. It is promoting good health, both mentally and physically.
With that being said, this is why the Science of Sisterhood exists, guys. This is the Science of Sisterhood project is developing, it's learning, it's growing, and we are really interested in everything like Tanisha said and investigating that, but also looking at like ages ago, you sent me a video of a lady speaking around the fight or flight. Do you remember the fight or flight mode? There's a lady that was on a podcast, and she was speaking around people often talk about fight or flight mode, and within women that she believes that there's an extra two, I think it was tend or befriend. It was like in terms or in moments of high crisis, stress, or situations that women often tend to tend or befriend, so tend to other people or befriend and be in community with women. And like we are so interested in looking at the science of why sisterhood works and how it impacts our lives and how it transforms, how it heals, how it builds. With that being said, we are at the end of In Conversation With. So if anybody wants to join the journey, please do scan the QR code. That will take us to our community newsletter, as well as if you want, sign up to our community membership, which will be launching real soon, which is a membership backed by science, backed by sisterhood, but led with love and led with care, and it will include all things like monthly meetups, the sharement of resources, and so much more that we are building out. Anyone wants to say any last words? Yeah. Do you have a question? Go on. Go ahead.
So I used to work with the girls last year.
Yeah.
And could I tell you they practice what they preach? The little girl
Aww.
I was seeing around when I did like weekly sessions, we had a calling baby come to sessions, and every single like sister here helped me in that moment. And that's political because we got a little. You'll see her. She's a
Yeah.
It shows you the generational impact of the work they're doing. My daughter's so confident because she's been loved for, cared for.
You're gonna make me cry, Vanessa.
Honestly, even like last year working with these girls, they're set up, they're speaking now. It's just been so beautiful to see it all progress. So I did want to say they really, really do practice sisterhood. They embody that, and honestly, I can
fucking cry. Oh, I know. We did it. Oh, we love you, Vanessa. Any last words? That is so emotional. You're going to make me really emotional. Woo. We love Yaya. She's our youngest member. Actually, no, there's a few more babies now, but they're all members of Hey Sis. They're all, and there's a new one coming, isn't there? So. Any last remarks or any last questions?
I guess just to say that this is the beginning,
Really
the very beginning of like something very special. I don't know where it's going to go, but yeah,
It'll be great.
it's going to be great.
Well,
And we want everyone to join as well. I think that's
yeah,
the other
we
thing.
really
Like
do.
the more, even today when you do like the prompts upstairs, you do the zine making, it helps us build something as well. So I guess the goal is like to have the tools and resources so everyone can have that sisterhood as well. That's important.
Thank you for joining us in conversation with the sisterhood. Yeah, please do go upstairs, grab a drink, engage, talk to someone you don't know. Like, make some sisters here today. And if you're scared to, come speak to one of us. Anyone with a pink lanyard, we are now your new founded sisters. So come and have a chat with us as well as new people. And thank you. I'll see you all upstairs. Thank you.